Hello, hello. So today I had an amazing conversation with the team from the Retro NFTs. I just love the human beings behind it. They're such good people, and I hope you get to know them better through this conversation. And I'll see you on the next one. So, hello, Retro NFTs. This is the first one I do with the whole team, so I'm really excited to have you all on. Uh, as we know, Retro NFTs is a team. You guys are on it. We have Nathan with us, we have April, and we have Terry. And let's just start with introducing yourselves and kind of knowing what you guys each do on the team. So, Nathan?
Yeah, so currently I'm spending most of my time working on the game, mostly like community manager, dealing interfacing with different people in the space and stuff like that for Retro NFTs.
Yeah, you guys have a great community too. I've seen your community. It's quite active.
It's good. It's really we have some great people supporting us. It's really good.
And April?
So I'm April. I am the marketing consultant for Retro NFTs. I work with the boys on a part-time basis and tend to come in when we have either a big project drop coming or like some high stakes projects that we're working with that we want to talk about. And that's my main role.
Okay. How long have you been with the team?
Officially, I think I started in October, and I'd sort of been giving ad hoc advice and just sort of, chewing the fat, etc., since they started in April.
Now that you say October, I think I remember seeing, like, I'm not very active in most Discords, but I do go in and read as much as I can of the announcements, and I think I remember you guys made an announcement, right?
I think so, yeah.
Sounds
about right.
Now I recall that. I do, yes.
I have to say, my sense of time is all over the place with the pandemic. Like, I can barely remember what year it is at the moment.
I think we're all in the same boat where we're just like, wait, what day is it again?
Yeah.
And I've been in quarantine because I was testing positive like a week ago now. I have to wait a couple more days. But yeah, it's definitely like I have to check my phone to know which day I'm at, for sure. Especially that in Dubai, we just changed the weekend from Friday, Saturday to Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So Dubai has just gone on the Saturday, Sunday weekend this weekend. This is the first time they've ever done it. Last weekend was New Year's, so everybody was off anyway, but this is the first working weekend where it's a Saturday, Sunday. So going to work on a Monday in Dubai as the first day of the week is going to be quite new for me. So yeah, I'm completely lost.
Wow.
And you, Terry?
I'm Terry. I mostly do a lot of the dev and the back end stuff, a lot of the more technical things, and we basically work alongside Nathan to sort of bring all the projects and different things that we get involved in together. So from next week, basically, I go full time. So I'll be full time doing Retro NFT. So up until now, for the last year, it has been basically 1 day a week and weekends and evenings and all spare time. And we spent a lot of hours. So it's going to be really good this year to just have a full time role and really start ramping things up.
When you say all spare time, I so feel that. Like right now, I'm thinking to myself, I'm on with you guys, but at the same time, my partner is like walking past, and I'm like, oops.
Yeah, it's been a tough sort of 6 months, I'd say, where we all have done so many hours where you sort of finish the day job and then get out the laptop and start doing other stuff and cool.
For a while, I even took my personal laptop for lunch breaks too.
Yep, that's it. Make a sandwich, and while you're eating the sandwich, just get a couple of things done. And
reply to a few things, get a few things that have been pending in the back of your head, get it over with, and then go back. But I have a question for all of you actually, because for me, doing this has actually made me better at my 9 to 5, which has made it even harder to quit because I'm enjoying it even more now that I'm doing this. So for you guys, has it done this kind of the same thing?
For me, I found that I got better at getting my work done in less hours. Like it's like I could extend my lunch break from sort of half hour to an hour because I could do lots of things really quickly and become kind of efficient at my job. But also it made me sort of think about how I prioritize things as well. So like everything comes down to how many hours have I got to do something. So it's like prioritizing things and doing things correctly and knowing when to say no to certain things, I think is one of the biggest lessons I learned last year. Is like at some point you have to say no because you can't say yes to everything, whether that's a customer, whether that is completing something or changing a date or whatever it is. Like, but yeah, I know what you mean. But getting to the end of my role, my daytime role, it's actually one of the hard things because I actually really enjoy my day job, and to leave that, even though I'm going to do something I really love and passionate about, it's one of those things where it's like you're kind of giving up something that's good and part of my life. Yeah.
And how about you guys, April and Nathan? Do you feel the same?
Kind of. It's a bit different for me. So I work in marketing. I'm an international marketing manager in my day job, Monday to Friday, and I feel like working in the NFT space has really helped me kind of, I'd say, almost keep up with the future of where marketing is going to go. So there's a lot of like really big name brands that are working the NFT space already. Like we've got Nike, we've got Burberry, we've got Coca-Cola, we've got Budweiser. Like they're all doing things in the NFT space. I think they're more based on the Ethereum network, but obviously that's where, if big name players are going into the NFT space, like, I think that's something to really be aware of. Whereas my current day job, I'd say, is much more in the more traditional line of marketing. So being able to have this going on as well, for me, it feels like I'm really sort of like keeping my skills up to date and future proofing myself. And like, this is where the world's going to go. It might take 5 years or 10 years or whatever, but it's like, I want to be there. I don't want to be on the back foot when it happens.
Yeah, I understand that. I do something completely different. I'm a sales coach and trainer on my 9 to 6, like my Monday to Friday. So, but what I felt is just having this creative outlet has made me much more focused when I am at work, if that makes sense. Because I have this outlet, I'm able to create, I'm able to enjoy, I'm able to do this in my evenings and weekends. When I get to my 9 to 6, my mind is calm enough to focus on everything else.
That's good.
Yourself, Nathan?
Yeah, mine is a very similar aspect. I just go to work, do as much as I possibly can, as quickly as possible. I'm restricted by time, 8 till 4, 9 till 5. So, but as soon as you're out the door, you do learn very quickly to be efficient. Yeah, and this space has definitely helped with that for sure.
Yeah, I think time prioritization and efficiency is a very big thing for us in the NFT world, because you blink and it's all changed, and you're like, "What just happened? Where did this come from? Where did that go to?" Like we're like, "What?"
Just trying to keep up these days with everything that's changing, like things changing at breakneck speed, and so many people in the space are doing things in their spare time and have transitioned to full time. Like I feel like over the last couple of months, we've really sort of hit this speed up in pace where like even some of the tools and some of the other projects and that have all of a sudden, started to have full-time employees or part-time and stuff like that. And things have started to move on very quickly and mature. That's one of my biggest things that I found over the last couple of months is just trying to keep up with what's changing and all of the different projects and all of the different things in the ecosystem. Like it's changing so quickly.
Are you still trying?
I think this comes back to one of those efficiency things where I pick and choose what I keep up with. And like Nathan, that's like one of the good things that Nathan does is he's very good at sort of keeping me informed on different projects. So sort of like we collaborate that way by saying, oh, did you hear about that? Yeah, oh, I heard about that. I didn't hear about that. Like, I'm sort of trying to keep up that way. But it's almost like a
I need a
full-time job
Nathan
to
in my
try to keep
life.
up with everything that's going on.
You know where I am.
Project, let alone our own.
It's a four corners thing, isn't it? You know, you've got Cardano itself that are updating the network, and then you've got the artists that are creating artwork, but perhaps don't necessarily always have a project under construction. Then you've got the projects themselves, and then you've got everything else in the other corner, and bringing all that together into the middle where you can see it can be difficult sometimes. But I think we know certainly enough, you know, of what's going on and stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, that I understand, and like what Terry, you touched on something that Patrick and I touched on this morning. It's learning to say no. And Patrick is I don't know your ages, but you seem like you're more around my generation. Patrick is a younger generation. And I was telling him how I have this sort of protective big brother type of relationship that I've imposed on myself. They have nothing to do with the younger ones, because it's going so fast. And they're setting up companies and they're doing this, which I think is amazing. I love the entrepreneurial aspect of what we're seeing in our space. But then I remember when I was that age going through all of that, and I was like, I asked him a few questions like, how do you feel you've changed? Like, if you had to look at yourself 6 months ago and now, he said one of the things is learning to say no and being okay with it, being okay to say, okay, no. And sorry, it is a very tough thing to learn even at our age. So to see our community's younger generation, I mean, Stale's only, I think, turning 20. So we have so many people that are at that age. But at the same time, even though we are all different types of generations, we're all equals.
Yeah.
And that is something that I enjoy a lot. Like, I love being able to talk to you guys who are probably more around my generation. I'm 38, mind you. So if you're younger, I'm sorry. If you're older,
yeah,
yeah,
very similar sort of age bracket.
Yeah, so we're all kind of around the same place. But then I know there are people that are older than me, much older than me in this space, as collectors too, not just as creators. And I know there are younger. There are so many more younger ones. But when we chat, we don't know this. We don't really know this until we get to know each other. And I love that equality we all have in the space with each other. How have you guys felt kind of the same way? Is that something you guys have seen and felt?
Yeah, definitely. It's a level playing field. Even me and Terry were fortunate enough to make it to the summit, and
Yes.
in London, and that was great. It didn't matter who the face was in front of you. You spoke about the same thing. You were on a level playing field. And at one point, we didn't realize that we were actually talking and having a full conversation with someone from IOHK, and it could have been anyone.
Okay.
You know, Terry would agree that we were both a little bit shocked afterwards when we realised. But yeah, it's crazy how it does level the field completely.
Yeah. You said something like, we all spoke about CNFTs and it felt like we can speak and just speak and go on and on and on. That's something we lack in our daily lives. I feel we chat about it online a lot, but we don't have anyone to speak to like this. So I think, Terry, you were jumping in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I think it comes back to like the community, like not just in sort of the CNFT space, but in Cardano as a whole. Like, it's a very sort of open, level playing field. Like, I've been around the crypto space for many, many years, and Cardano is one of the more accepting communities. You know, you can't ask a dumb question and sort of be ridiculed for it in many cases. Like, I see a lot of these conversations online, and people are very like, oh no, look, let's help you. Like, here's all the information. It's not like, you know, you see it in a lot of the other communities where someone says something and they're sort of shot down for not knowing how that works and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think the community is just like so good. And I think it's going to grow massively as we sort of all start, hopefully over, soon start coming out of sort of lockdowns and stuff like that, and being able to interact face to face, and more meetups and summits and stuff like that. I think like the relationships that are growing between people and projects and that is just going to keep expanding. It's really exciting.
True, especially that I feel what's happening, like one thing that I felt is happening also is that I don't know if you guys were on Clubhouse when it first came out last year, around this time. Around this time last year, a lot of people were on Clubhouse, February and March also, and I was on Clubhouse, and they were not nice people. Like the ETH maxis and everybody were from the crypto space. It was, okay, you had the nicer rooms, of course, but the majority of the rooms kind of bullied people almost. Like, oh, you don't know this? You should know this. It's like, or go do your own research. Okay, yeah, okay, I can do my own research, but can you at least let me know which ones I should be looking at, in your opinion? I understand you don't want to give me financial advice, but you don't have to yell at me either. And when I came into ADA, that's where I felt like exactly what you were saying. People were accepting, people were nice. I mean, Stale is the one that minted my first project. My Genesis was minted by Stale before I knew who Stale was. So I was lucky to come through a friend of Stale's. And then now, realizing later who Stale is and what he's done and what he's doing, I understand. I thought he was maybe in his 30s, to be honest. Now I know his age, and I'm like, okay, I might tell him everything I still want to give across, but I might change the way I say it to him, just because of the difference of everything. And I'm not pointing at him especially. I think everybody that I've learned to know more, I would talk to them in a certain way, but never in a way where like I'm better or I'm no more or something like that. But in other crypto spheres, we do see that. Like I was always at the periphery of crypto. This is the first time I jump all in, mostly because I lived in places where you could never buy it. But now that I am in a place where I was able to buy, I jumped in, and I can tell you, the person I am today versus the person I was before I came into crypto is similar, but definitely I feel like I've upgraded, especially in confidence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I think like you can learn so much from people, whether they're younger or older or anything like that. And I think like what you were saying is where we've got so used to dealing with people sort of in Discords and different chats and things like that, you kind of don't get a sense of somebody's age. And like you all of a sudden like, learn that, you've learned a few lessons from talking to somebody, or you've perhaps taught them a few lessons without even knowing, but a completely different age range. And I think sort of that thing that you forget that, you can be any age and learn something, and, it's down to experience and how you look at things. And I think going back to what you were saying is like, there's so many people in this space that were doing things that are turning it into a business, and now they're having to learn how to run a business or how to do general business things, such as saying no.
Manage a team.
Yeah, understanding that, it's better to say no than it is to let somebody down, and, simple things like that. They're just business lessons that you have to learn, and you have to sort of negotiate and get around. So I think like there's a lot of people in that are learning that, and there's lots of people or businesses that are, having to learn how to move fast and break stuff, or how to deal with NFT communities and stuff. And I mean, that's kind of a faux pas, right? Because Cardano doesn't really move fast and break stuff, but that is how most tech.
But we move fast and we break stuff while we're kind of experimenting with our own projects. Because I think, Nathan, you were more the front end with me on this one. So you probably saw more how much we experimented and how much we tried and how much my team and I were trying to get it right. And this was a long time coming. I've had my creatures for around 6 months before I showed them to even Nathan and everybody else to see if you guys were wanting to come in with me and do something. And the reason I didn't drop it as a PFP is, and we're kind of going into another direction now with the conversation, it's because there are so many massive PFP that I did not want to come in and say, here's my 8,000 PFPs, buy them. No, I wanted first, I didn't want the typical, this is generative, so I did do everything and then we put them all together through a script. That's the whole point of a PFP. But I didn't want to come in and do something with like cartoonish or this or that. And I came up with those, and they're so simple. If you really look at them, they're actually just a rectangle and 2 squares and something on the outside, right? Like they're very, very simple if you really look at it. But what I loved about them is that they're so expressive in a way. And I revealed to Patrick this morning where the inspiration for the shape came from. And he's like, oh, now I can't unsee. So maybe I shouldn't be telling people. So, but maybe later. But what I'm coming to is you guys are doing something similar. There's a thought process before you drop. You don't just come out and say, I want to drop this, and this is what I'm dropping, and I'm sure people will get it. No, you're telling yourselves, no, I want to drop this, but I want to make sure there is still a thought process behind it and intention. This thing is intentionally made for a certain thing. And this is what I love about your project. Again, I'm the lurker, I read, I do, but I don't comment as much. And one thing I liked about the Retro NFTs and why I kind of approached, I think when I don't know if it was you guys that approached me or not, but when we came together, I'm like, yes, of course I want to work with you guys, because you are one of those projects that comes in with an idea, but then you look at it, you kind of look at it from here, from there, from everywhere, and then you come out and you present it. And that is something that I feel in Cardano we have more of maybe than ETH. And again, I compare with ETH because it's the bigger one, because it's the one everybody compares us with, because some people see us as the ETH killer, which I don't really think is true. But you guys, a few other bigger projects that think further than their nose, they kind of look to the future. I love what you're doing, and I love how you're doing it. So my question to you now is, first, Retro NFTs in general, what is the inspiration for it? Where did it come from? And second, did you all know each other before you met for the project, or did you meet through CNFTs and decided to do something together?
So me and Terry are actually related, but not related.
Okay.
So we already knew each other, and through that we became pretty good mates. And then Terry and April is a love story. So they're the they're the Retro NFTs couple.
Are you guys in different rooms right now?
We are.
We're
yes.
in different rooms, but yeah, we're in the same house. But yeah, we. I met April before this all started, and then so she was along for the ride when I started it with Nathan, and was always doing stuff, and that's how she becomes.
It started with me picking on their typos in copy, and it sort of went from there.
Well, first of all, good for you, because typos are annoying. Yeah. And you taught someone something because Nathan fixed the typo when he first came into the room. So
yeah, see?
Yeah, it's rubbed off. I'm very happy.
Die hard.
Yeah.
And two, okay, if you may allow me, I will get a little personal. How cool is it for both of you, like for Terry, that your partner is in it with you, and for April, that your partner is going into it like full on, like your partner is really taking this full on. Like how do you guys feel about all of this?
Pretty good, actually. It's It's nice to be able to talk about something and you can both understand it. So, for example, when I come home from my day job, sometimes I'll talk about, I don't know, labels or barcodes or something, which I'm sure Terry, like he smiles and nods, but I don't know if he 100% understands all the technicality that I'm talking about. And same for him, obviously, when he was working as a dev for his company. So it's quite nice that when you talk about also, you know, what's happening at work with this, you can actually really understand what you're both talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
That's quite nice.
I'm assuming you're supportive of him taking this full on.
Yeah, very much so. And you know, being there through the ups and downs, like some nights when, like, you know, he's super stressed, and you know, it's nice to be able to be there and say, well, what can I do to help? And it's like, actually, maybe there are some things I can do to help, as opposed to just being very helpless and on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And Terry,
it's very good, like, to be able to sort of talk about stuff and talk about what's happening with retro NFTs or a client or, you know, art or an artist or whatever's happening. And April knows what I'm on about. She knows what that is. And then sometimes she'll tell me stuff. She'll be like, oh, did you see that this person dropped this or is, you know, doing this? But then on the other side, I think that we sometimes spend a lot of our evenings talking about retro NFTs. So it's like kind of that thing that kind of doesn't sleep. It's like, you know, it's I might, you know, put down my phone and go, right, I'm not doing Discord anymore, and then April's there on Discord asking me a question about something. So okay, right. I think that's just, you know. But yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing to have that sort of support and have somebody that I can talk to about it with that understands it and that sort of thing, and get the help. And then obviously from the marketing side and that sort of thing, to get those sort of ideas when you're trying to flesh something out or talk about something and get that extra
it's a different viewpoint. Good. I think.
Yeah. And Nathan, how is your personal life dealing with your NFT obsession right now?
Yes. let's just say yes.
Leave it at that.
I mean, I have 3 kids and a wife as well, and it's pretty hectic managing it all.
I bet.
You know,
you're still in the space where I was, or still am, but like a few months ago, where I have a day job, working all my spare time and all of that, but then you've got sort of the kids on top of that, and sort of, you know, like we need to get to the point where sort of Nathan's doing this full time as well. But it's just, I think that space is just trying to sort of have enough time to do everything, and sort of you never have 5 minutes spare. Like that 5 minutes spare could be used to do something. And again, going back to no, I'm just going to put everything down and have an hour's time or whatever. So I think you're still in that space, aren't you? You're still. Yeah, definitely. You still got a very busy day job, and
you change your nappy and then answer a message on Discord. You know, that's the reality of it. Like that's
okay. I have an image of in my head you dropping your phone in a dirty nappy.
No, that's yet to happen.
Yeah.
Has it happened already?
No, it hasn't happened. Okay. Not just.
If it happens, you're blaming me. I know, but I had to share this image because it popped up in my head. So. Yeah, but like, I completely understand, because I only have a partner and a dog, and before we were separated for a full year because of COVID. Him in China, me here, and then now that I have to admit, I thought I was going to get bored, but CNFTs kind of get me busy. But they kept me so busy that now that we're back in the same home, I'm like, okay, I need to manage this too now. I never forgot it, but at the same time, I understood that now finally, like as Nathan is saying, like every 5 minutes, you either have to do something with the NFTs, or your mind is on it and you're doing something else, or you're like, I'm going to feel guilty about this, but I don't care right now. I have to put my phone down and do something else. Maybe like watch TV with the kids or something like that.
Do you also find when you don't do it, you want to do it because you miss the chaos? So
it's hard to admit, but it's true. Really. I think this is again why it's made me so focused at my 9 to 6, because I'm able to live the chaos in the evenings and let it all out there, so that when I do go in the mornings, that chaos, it's kind of out of my system, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's in the morning before I go to work, so I'm able to let it all go and then go to work, focus on my work, do that thing which I also love. So if I'm knock on wood, I'm in this fortunate position where I'm doing two things I love, and now I'm coming to the realization that I might, in a year maximum, have to make a choice.
Yeah. I think, like, in sort of retrospect, like, I should have made this change months ago, but
Okay.
I won't say the opportunity wasn't there. It was just sort of like, oh, will it work as a, business to, like, is it worth doing that, or that sort of thing? And it wasn't sort of, I think things changed for us last year, where, like, our original story was that we started up bringing new small artists to the blockchain. So we've got a lot of artists from around the world, and we help them release their small collections and bits and pieces. And we've collaborated with them and got involved in different things. And we were minting all of our own tokens. And then we helped somebody mint, and then we ended up helping somebody else mint, and then it's become this sort of consultancy kind of thing, where we're helping a lot of people with their projects come to the blockchain. And now we're doing minting. We've got a whole minting queuing system set up that we've called Retro Minter. And so that now has enabled us to sort of get enough funds and revenue and have, we're not relying on just selling our own NFTs or our artist NFTs. We have sort of a more longer view in, like, trying to partner with people and projects. And it's not just about the minting, it's about building tools and tooling and growing sort of the systems and the ecosystem, that sort of thing. So, like, once that started happening, it was like, oh, okay, like, this can really work. We can sustain, full-time employees without, just an NFT collection or whatever. But it's something that now I look at it is that I wish I'd done it a couple of months ago, because I'd be so much further forward in terms of, like, all of the time I had. But, it's just hindsight. It is.
Hindsight is 2020, right?
Yeah.
And now coming back to Retro NFTs, where did the inspiration come from for the project? For people that don't know Retro NFTs, how would you explain it to them, and how would you say you came up with the idea and you decided, okay, this is what we want to run with, etc.?
So I'm laughing because Terry knows the inception of it.
Yeah, we always joke that I blame Nathan for sort of dragging me into it, but I think I let Nathan tell the story. But he phoned me up one day and was like, "I've got an idea." And
it always starts with a mate that says, "I've got an idea," right?
Yeah,
it can either go very well or very badly.
Yeah, we're banned from ideas now. So April's banned us from buying NFTs, and we're also internally banned ideas, because it gets us into this. And we're almost a year in now, and it hasn't stopped. It's crazy. Crazy. I literally, Terry did introduce me into crypto. Probably the start. Would you agree? It was the start of.
It was sort of around the sort of Christmas 2019.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so I was playing a little bit and finding my feet, and then Terry mentioned Cardano, and I started watching that, and just from the outside, and then the natural progression of that is you start getting deeper and deeper, and then you fall down the holes of NFTs and what's possible. And initially, I just thought, let's try and make some NFTs. And Terry had already toyed with the idea, And then the more we spoke about it, it was, well, ETH probably isn't really the avenue for us. So Cardano has NFTs and they're pretty fresh and new. At that, you know, in April we were still the new kids on the block almost. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was it. We made the decision to get together. We thought of a name. We bought a domain, and then we thought, well, what can we do? We didn't want to do the big, because at the time, you know, it was what seems like a highly accelerating space. Now, I mean, that's just a drop in the ocean to where we're at now. But at the time, we didn't know. We thought it was growing incredibly quickly. So
do you remember the rush that we had in that April when we were going to drop? We can't wait another week to release. Like, we've got to do this now.
Everybody was like that. We were all in that rush.
It was crazy.
And now it's like,
there was only probably,
it wouldn't have mattered.
There was only 20 or 30 of us at that point. So it was just that sort of that community vibe. It was always popping, you know, it was alive and everyone was racing around and stuff. And we just thought, how can we do something different that's not a 10,000 drop or not, you know, not a big, huge 10K? Because at the time it was, not another one. It was getting to that point. So we felt that, well, let's do something different. What can we do? And we came up with supporting, you know, unknown artists and featuring them on the website. So they've got their own page, their artwork's displayed, their Retro NFTs artwork is displayed along with their own personal stuff. And it did really work. Our proudest moment, or certainly for me, was Richard. He was a pixel artist on Instagram. We managed to get him premier partner on Token, the marketplace. And then he went on to mint his own collection, which he sold. You know, and that was
very nice.
That was really fantastic from him to come from, you know, an unknown pixel artist to selling NFTs on Cardano.
Yeah.
And he's the artist that's creating the graphics behind the Doomsday game as well. So it's like he's also it was really sweet from his perspective. He's like, literally my dream is to, like, you know, do graphics for a computer game. Like, this is amazing. So it's like, it's just really lovely. Like, seeing these stories evolve.
And one, like, when you watch those, you'll hear me talking about those overarching themes of the interviews now that I've done a few. One thing that I've noticed now with April saying that is, that you've pretty much summed up exactly how I feel. It's very lovely to see those people come into something and say, this is kind of what I've always wanted to do, and they're realizing it, and it's kind of coming into fruition. And at first they're kind of, you know, a little wary, and then they own it, and then now they're happy, and you see that whole just this whole evolution. Like I was telling Patrick, I don't want to tell him he's maturing, because I don't think it's the right word. I think he's evolving, and this is what's happening to all of us, is that we're all evolving into something new, and we really don't know where we're going, and we've learned to love the unknown. You know, we were afraid of the unknown. If you realize before, I don't know about you guys, but me, I wasn't afraid, but I would think twice before I did something I've never done before. Now I'm like, yeah, I would go hike again, or I would go hike at that mountain, even though I'm tired from all this NFT work and I've only slept 5 hours. I would go because it's something I've never done before. Before I would be like, you will not wake me up in 10 hours to take me to that thing. Now I'm like, yeah, I would go, or let's go eat this never eaten cuisine before. Yeah, sure. I was always adventurous, but now I would take that step and do it. And those are little things. Some people, it's more like they're starting to talk to others more. They've built that confidence just because they were able to drop. And I think this is not just in Cardano. Maybe we see it more because we are so in it in Cardano. But I feel like some of the ETH people I've seen that have sold out express this. And this is why NFTs in general, I see right now, are really bringing people together in a very different way. And okay, the pandemic helped because we were all going through something, but then this kind of cemented a lot for us. And you, like, thank you for saying that, April, because you kind of brought that image to me of every time I read a message or I read a tweet about someone succeeding, I'm like, yes, you know?
There's so
And
much support and gratitude in the space that
yes,
that's what drives it. It's that
yes,
gratitude. You can see people really do appreciate, creators appreciate people who buy their work, and the people who are buying the work, they appreciate the creator for creating the work. So we've created this two-way street of gratitude, and it's incredible. It really is.
it's
A lot of
incredible,
the
it's infectious, and it's kind of, I mean, gratitude has been proven to change your physiology in a way. So it's really making the world a better place. Sorry, Terry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, sort of bridge that gap and sort of cut out the middleman of, like, a lot of artists are getting paid good money for their art and their work they're doing. I mean, you look at the moment, it's really hard to find a decent artist or a 3D renderer or, anything kind of like that either isn't fully booked or is trying to get into the NFT space or is working on their own project. Like, I've spoken to people and they're like, oh, you don't know like a good visual 3D artist that can work with Blender. It's like, no, they're all busy. They're all doing stuff. They're all earning good money.
Don't remind me.
And I think that's so good. Like, there's so many people, there's so many artists that do a little bit of art in their casual time, a bit of a side thing, that have made their passion their dream. They're making good money from it, and that's happening en masse. And I think that's sort of the NFT and the creators. You've got so many creators that are, now getting paid for their work and getting paid reasonably for it. And it's an amazing thing to see. And that's sort of one of the grounding principles that when we started Retro NFTs was to get small artists and get them to sort of help them on board into the NFT space and realize that they can sort of, do you know what I mean, create and sell their work.
Yeah. And I can tell you, because I am one of those small artists. I know I have a big following on Twitter and everything, but I still view myself as that smaller individual artist. I don't view myself as a big name because I think I never will. To me, I will always be the small artist that works alone. And I can tell you, when I first sold out my Genesis, within 24 hours, I think I had 5 left or 10 left, something like that. That feeling of validation, it wasn't about the ADA. It was about the validation that, yes, I am this creator. I am this artist that I've always thought I was. And I've brought this concept to life. I've worked hard on it. I've put it up. People appreciated it. People understood it. That, to me, was the biggest piece of validation, that I was able to portray something that someone was able to understand, even though I've never met them. They don't know maybe much about me except my website back then. So that really made me feel like, okay, yes, I can do this. I can go out and do more collections. I can go out and do more. And I feel this is what you guys have done for your smaller artists, or maybe someone what was his name?
Richard.
Richard.
Someone like Richard, who was just doing those doodles for fun with bytes, this bit art on his Instagram. You guys told him, okay, we think we need you on this. Would you be interested? He said, hell yeah. He came in, he did something, and now he's like, okay, I'm living my dream.
Yeah, very much
and
so.
Having fun.
Yeah. He's actually one of the creators that have done some of the. So for us with the accessories, we've got 3 of our artists to do a few different things. Yes. So Richard is the one that's done the pixelated eyes. There's 2 versions of them.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
And they work so well. I've tried those eyes with so many different combinations while I was playing with it, and they work incredibly well with almost everything. With everything, I think. I don't think I've tried it with anything that it hasn't gone very well with. So I'm excited for you guys to play with them. So what did I tell you, Nathan? I don't know if I told you, but one thing I'm doing for the teams is giving each team one NFT and one like creature and two of our, not the collab stuff because I don't own them, you guys own them. So and two of my team's accessories, because in fact I am not promising this, but because I'm hoping for a sellout. If we sell out, we will take it further. But this is the beginning of a universe. Each creature, like the dragon is the bar owner, and they all meet at this bar, and they all have their own different lives. I think I told you guys this on the call.
Yeah, we was
the
having
other
a chat the other day. Yeah, and it's
so hopefully this is where it's going to go. But for now, I just wanted something for people to have fun with and kind of feel the rush of creation by putting things together and go, oh, this is cool, this is fun. But yeah, validation, I feel I don't know. Well, marketing is somewhat creative, April. So for you, coming into the space and being part of the creative aspect of it, because you're doing it through a marketing aspect, do you feel like you're getting that validation that you are able to do something in a new space that you probably hadn't touched before?
Definitely. And I think what's really nice as well is obviously working with Terry and Nathan is being able to give a bit more input than perhaps I do in my day job, which is like a very large, more corporate setting. And so there's lots of quite strict guidelines that we have to follow there. So then this is like such a much more fresh approach, and you can be very nimble and reactive. You haven't got to get something signed off by 6 different people before a tweet goes out, that kind of thing. So
and the board.
Oh yeah, of course. And then everybody knows marketing better than you do, kind of thing. Whereas I don't know, this is just such a fun, creative space to be in. I really, really enjoy it. It's lovely.
It's like a create your own pizza.
Yeah, that's a good description.
You just throw anything on top and stick it in the oven.
Yeah.
Well,
it will taste delicious.
I don't know about you, April, but us men have this thing where we do create our own sandwiches with whatever's in the fridge. we usually have no problems putting whatever's in the fridge in between 2 pieces of bread and just eating it when we have no other choice and we're too lazy to go and get something. But yes, so creating your own pizza is a higher level of because you actually have to bake it,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
So just coming back to helping others. So you guys have done that. If you might recall, Fettuccine and I tried to launch Springboard, and then we ended up getting too busy, and we decided that's one thing we had to say no to. It's still alive. We're just waiting for someone to come in and take it over. Would you guys like to take it up?
It's definitely something I think that we should have a conversation about. I mean, we've been talking about, how do we sort of build on what we've done? Because one of the biggest things is sort of the time it takes to sort of onboard a new artist and help them work out how to create a project and the marketing for that project. It's all good just creating an art or a series of art and that sort of thing. If nobody knows about it, nobody's going to buy it. And the space is getting so saturated now that, there needs stuff. So yeah, it's definitely something we've been talking about. We were also, we've been talking to a group in Europe who, Space of Urgency, who are trying to onboard small artists en masse into NFT spaces for sort of community projects and stuff like that. And we're sort of helping them with a sort of curriculum of all of the things you need to know. So like, what is an NFT, how it works, how you mint it, how you market it, what's available in the space and that sort of thing. So they can sort of make it into sort of a workshop. But yeah, we should definitely have a chat and see if there's something we could work on together and what. Yeah,
so we're quite keen on having someone take it over for the moment because we simply don't have the time. Unless I am able to take up, because it was my brainchild and I asked Fettuccine, I was like, look, I won't do it if you won't. And he's like, yes, I will. And then we both realized how much time it takes. And we looked at each other, we're like, maybe we bit off more than we can chew. He's like, maybe we did, yes. And then we decided to let it sleep. But then, yeah, like to me, it was more about, I knew what I went through. And I didn't want anyone else to go through it because, yes, I had the best help. I had Stale, I had Zieg, I had some of the more established people in the CNFT space help me, and I still struggle. So imagine those people that don't have it. So this is why we kind of wanted to do it. But yeah, time, I wish there was a week for every day, right?
It goes back again, like you learned to say no. As much as you didn't want to, you had to say no to that project, at least for the time being. It's
so
it's one of those
your
things.
game, are you building it on Unity?
No. We develop.
Okay. Is there a bridge to the CNFTs with that? Because one thing my Unity developer has been having trouble with is being able to verify the wallet and make sure that those assets can be used in the game. This is where we're stuck. This is our crutch at the moment.
There will be eventually, if unique playable characters on NFT ownership, or at least wallet presence. That is the aim.
Yeah. I think
we decided.
I think the Ludo token was meant to be that, but Adam is so busy he hasn't gotten around to finish it yet. And I've mentioned this in a few videos in the hopes that he watches those videos and he knows that I'm still thinking of him finishing the Ludo token. Side note over. Go ahead there.
I was just going to say, we decided to use GDevelop just because I think the game started out as just something small we were going to release for free, and then we sort of expanded it and built on it. So we're going to build our own sort of tooling around that for registering the wallet and that. But for you, I would suggest go have a talk to Bitfins. Bitfins, if you're not aware of the project, they've done.
Yes.
They're basically.
I have a Bitfin.
A VR fish tank. But they've just.
I don't have the fish tank, but I have a Bitfin itself. I think they airdropped to the FFA 100.
Yeah.
So
they've actually already got a working model up of like the VR fish tank, and you can. I don't know if the demo's up anymore, but they've already done the wallet integration basically, and it's in beta.
But is it a Unity game?
Yeah. So his developer's already done that. So go have a chat with them. Tyler's really good. He's really helpful. He's really open. But if nothing else, he'll show you what they've done. And but they've got that. They've got that working. They're moving that project at breakneck speed. It's one of the projects that have sort of got very far in their sort of timeline of building.
Tyler's project will run out of things to do before the community's caught up, and that's not a bad thing because he'll have a finalized, a finished project to deliver anywhere in the world, and it just needs the community to catch up with him now. He's doing great.
So Bitfins, Tyler, yes, I found it, Tyler. Okay.
Yeah, so
his name is Dream, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Dream Chevrolet, I think.
Yeah, Chevrolet. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so his Hookman is his Unity dev. So Tyler will definitely be able to help you for sure.
Well, that's one thing I've learned today. Thank you. Because it's a very annoying crutch we've had to stop at. So, April, you've been quite quiet. So I just want to touch again, circling back to you're all interconnected in your personal lives before you came into this. Mm-hmm. So were they the drinking buddies that you had to call back and tell them, okay, you've been out too long?
Might have been.
Might have been.
Might have been. No comment.
No comment on that. Okay, so smart. We need to talk, and I need to learn some things from you because that was very smart of you of getting yourself into the boy group.
Yeah. No, it's kind of happened very organically because, like I said, it started off with obviously, Terry would be working in the evenings and we'd be sat next to each other on the sofa, and I'd sort of like look over my shoulder and look at his screen and what he's doing, and it starts by me pointing out typos and, so what's going on with what you're doing, etc. And then it would just be like, oh, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? Just like obviously giving a bit more of a marketing perspective to obviously their technical expertise. And it just kind of grew organically. Nathan was covering our full marketing up until October when I think, it was just the realization of there's only so much that one person can do with, going back to what we're talking about there's just not enough hours in the day. So that was kind of why I came on board in a more formal capacity.
Yeah. And I love what you said, because my brother's in marketing and he's been struggling a little bit with the whole, like, he's old school and he wants to go into the new school. And I like that for you, it was almost serendipitous that you came into it.
It was funny because I would be at work and we subscribe to like a daily marketing newsletter. It's called The Drum, and most people in the UK will get this on a daily basis. And they're talking about NFTs. They've got these articles about like what different brands are doing in the NFT space. So again, it kind of became quite an organic, like, oh, this is like have you heard about this, and like having that chat, and just kind of a very organic sort of growth, I guess, for me joining the team.
Well, good for you. I like the success story in the aspect that all of you have found your own areas and you're happy with them, and they're bringing you that satisfaction and joy to keep you going. That's a
we
lot
work
of
very
fun.
well together as a team. It's something that we've talked about. It's just sort of we all sort of integrate very well and sort of get things done, and when things need done, like everyone just jumps in, and everyone kind of has their own thing that they can help with.
So there's no I in team, right?
Oh, definitely not.
Correct.
So if you were to say that, if you were to look for some sort of thing in that 6 months that was the pivotal moment for you guys, like one pivotal moment, you had to pinpoint just one for each one of you, what would it be?
When Richard messaged us to say that we've essentially changed his life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, then you don't very often get an opportunity to be in a position to do that.
True.
So that it doesn't matter how many hours in a day, doesn't matter how many days in a week, it doesn't matter how tired you are. When one person tells you that you have had an effect on their life like that, speaks volumes.
So, April and Terry, is it the same thing, or do you have other moments too?
Very much so. I think Richard is the story, and he's not the only one. But we talk a lot with Richard and that sort of thing. But knowing how much of an impact sort of had in his life, and that he's doing stuff, and it's really, really, really cool. But I think probably the Cardano summit was a big moment after we went down there just to sort of go and talk to other people and be part of it, and we've been part of the space, and sort of we were talking to lots of different people and about what we're doing and that sort of thing. We left going, oh, actually we're a bigger part of this space than we realized. Like we're doing things that are needed. We're working towards, we're looking further down the road than a lot of people, and we're already building tools and doing things. And I think that was a very sort of humbling moment to, going from sort of, we just thought we were just like doing a little side project to, oh, we're actually more serious about this than we realized. We're not even that. I don't even think that's the best way of putting it. It wasn't that we weren't serious about it. It was just that we didn't realize how far along the path we were already compared to a lot of other people in the space. and that was quite good.
Definitely eye-opening, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was very nice. It was very good. It was very I loved that, just to be talking to different people and helping. And like, one of I think the things that we do a lot is we talk to a lot of people, a lot of creators and people in the space, and just basically give them free advice. They're like, "Oh, I'm just trying to do this. Do you know how to do it?" It's like, "Oh yeah, you can do it with this. Here's some information. Like, let us know if you need help. Like, we don't want anything for it. We're happy to help you and guide you. And whether it's an artist or a project, or someone trying to integrate Unity into their game, like it's or their wallets into Unity. It's that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that was a big moment for me, sort of coming away from that with sort of a good smile on my face.
April?
So for me, the moment that really stands out, alongside obviously the other points that have been said, so it was just after the team had finished doing the minting for Bitfins, and it had gone really, really well. And we just put out like a little social media post of just like, oh, catch of the day, like, hope you enjoy getting a Bitfins Retro NFTs to the minting. And it was like almost instantaneously, our Discord DMs just blew up with people saying, "Oh my god, you do minting and you do really good minting. Like can we work with you?" And it was just like, oh god. And it was like this moment of, I think it was almost like the moment of like the door opening, like, oh god, this is where
the floodgates.
Yeah, this is where we're going to go with this. Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, that song was gonna be stuck in my head.
Yeah,
I think it's good to sort of point out that we never intended really to sort of do en masse minting for everybody. So what happened was we'd done it for a couple of here and there, and was just something we had the tools to do. And then Bitfins, we were helping Bitfins with their website and stuff like that. And somebody else was going to mint for them, and they got let down. And so at the last minute, we went, yeah, sure, we can do it. Like, let's just get it done for you. And then, as April said, like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, there's that many people out there that need help with this.
Yeah.
Like,
there is that many people out there, trust me, yes. And everybody is busy.
Even us. We're even getting people hit us up, and we're like, we just haven't got time. We're already looking.
And that's one thing I discussed with someone, I don't remember whom, that the minters now know all of each other, and they know each other's schedules. It's like, I'm pretty sure Marcus can do it for you. I don't think he's got much going on this week. Talk to Marcus. Here's his Discord. And Marcus would be like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Alex was telling me he's kind of free today. You talk to Alex. Alex would be like, you all kind of know each other's schedules in a way. Like, I know who's not busy this week. Talk to him. He needs the busy work. Go keep him busy, because I have too much to do. And it's not in any way to like take away from their work. No, you just hear from everybody. This person. So you retain that, and you're connecting people. And the minters, I've noticed there's a lot of that going.
There's so much. People need a lot of help with minting, and I think if there's anybody that's thinking of launching a project, or an artist out there that's watching this, is like, plan ahead. Like, you need to be looking months. You need to be looking at what your date for minting is months down the road, and find a mint early. Because we have people come to us going, "Oh, I want to release next week," and it's like,
no way.
Like, what like, oh, we've got all the art, we're ready to go. Let's do this next week, and it's like, but we haven't got time. Like, oh, I've already spoken to 3 minters, and they've told me the same. It's
the space right now.
A fair amount of work to get it done and do it properly.
So Artano, you can mint directly with them, which is nice. You can do your own minting through them. Patrick is working on something which is a marketplace, sort of like OpenSea, where you upload and mint directly. I think CNFT we're trying, but haven't gotten there yet. Is anybody else doing something similar? Are Token doing this, or are Token more of a secondary market?
Token, you can mint with Token. Token were one of the first to do it that I'm aware of, where you can basically go and upload your art and create your metadata and your policy ID and everything like that. And you can create your tokens. So you sort of mint your tokens, withdraw them to your wallet, and then you put them back onto the marketplace.
Okay.
Do that. I think where we're heading is a bit more of a self-service type system where you'll be able to go and sort of book and upload your artwork and stuff like that. It's going to take some time to get there, but make it more easy for people to do. But I think people still like the drop scenario where you have a release date and you can go and buy and you get a random token or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to the OpenSea sort of method of, do you know what I mean? It's there and then you go and buy one, and it's But
So
yeah.
OpenSea does have the reveal thing too.
Sorry, say again.
Because like the Angel Baby Hit Squad fettuccinis, you go buy and then within 24 hours you will get the reveal. They do the reveal once every day.
Yeah.
So when you first purchase it, you don't know what you've gotten until they refresh the metadata, and when they refresh the metadata on their end, you see it on your end. So I think like ETH does have something like that for sure. I don't think it's as big as our vending machines. So our vending machines are completely random.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit different to the way it's similar, but it's a bit different to the way that kind of sort of single drop you mint and then you get it sort of thing. But yeah, they do have the reveal thing. But yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like the ecosystem is changing on Cardano with the way sort of minting and all the tools and that sort of thing, and it's sort of growing. So it's going to be an interesting year for sure.
Oh, this is one thing Patrick and I touched on this morning, is that we're excited, but we're cautiously so. Like the word fear came up, a few like weird words like that came up, mostly because we don't know who's going to come in. And the bigger players are starting to come in. You have Sunday Swap, you have this DEX, you have that DEX, you have this big OpenSea trying to bridge with ERCs. You have all of those bigger players coming in, and it's great. But at the same time, he made a very good comparison to Bitcoin, because where Bitcoin had a similar community at the beginning, those people from the beginning are no longer present because of the bigger names that came in. And he was making that realization that maybe we will be those people that were there, and then it's all gone, Pete Tong, like it's all gone now. So what do we do? I agreed and disagreed with him. I said, look, yes, I agree with you. However, we're not where Bitcoin was 11 years ago.
No.
I do agree that I think we are, especially with the DeFi stuff all coming online, and sort of Cardano is going to get an influx of people coming into the space, but I think that's going to bring a lot of teams, people, and stuff from other chains like Ethereum and stuff like that, which is going to change the sort of community. Like we're going to get quite a big influx, and a big influx of bigger groups, and that is it's going to be both good and bad, right? You're going to get the good with the bad. There's going to be some great stuff. It's going to accelerate things. It's going to bring a lot more people to the community, and a lot more tools. But it's also going to bring more things, like sort of more scammers and more rug pulls and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, but it's there's so much room here still to grow, and I think like sometimes we forget that Cardano is still, whilst it's a massive community, it's still quite small when you compare it to all of the other coins combined and stuff like that. So still a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, this is something that I agree with you on. We are very early. We're in the pre-game, really. Like Cardano isn't done building. So we're very much in the pre-game. So I feel like whatever happens, we're winners out of it. I even told them, look, you're building technology that someone might want to come and scoop up someday. So even if you go, even if you leave, you're probably going to leave rich sad. You're not going to leave just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad place to be.
It's not. I was like, at the end of the day, Patrick, don't worry. It won't be a bad place you'll be in.
Mhm.
He laughed and he's like, okay, I get that point. But then, like, this is another thing that people that are like you guys working on the back end of things, you are creative in the sense of you're writing your own code, and code is copyright by default, if I'm not mistaken, because it's written. It falls under the written copyright. So you guys essentially are building an asset for yourselves in that company, or I don't know if you formalized it yet, but at least in the sense of the trio that you are, Retro NFTs. So you are building for your future in a way.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, like obviously we're building tools, and I think that's what we're trying to do this year is sort of build more tools for the community, and expand the tools that we've got and make them more robust and stuff. And help others to build tools and integrate different things. But if nothing else, if in a few years, it'll, changes, that's fine. We were here, we created something, we had some input, we helped, move things along, and that's what it's about at the end of the day. If things change, we'll change with it. It's just such an exciting space. Like the whole blockchain space has always been like so exciting because it's sort of the edge of that sort of technology.
And I think the not knowing is part of what makes it so exciting. Like if you knew exactly how this space was going to play out, that's half the fun gone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, again, it's us accepting the unknown and being okay with it. Also, as you said, it's more of a rush. It's not only being okay with it. We are more than okay with it. This is really something that we want done. So I agree. Like I love it. I love that. The more I'm doing those interviews and chats, I think I've gotten a title because I didn't have a title before, but I think I've gotten a title. I think it's Chatting Cardano with Chadi should be the name of my YouTube channel.
I like that. It's good. Yeah.
Okay. Do I get the marketing stamp?
You do. You get a marketing stamp of approval for that. It's good.
So, well, here you go. The name has been cemented. I will go create that channel under my YouTube and start uploading once I get the outros and intros done. But so yeah, the thing is, like, I've always wanted to do this and talk to the other creators, and I'm using this collab as the excuse because I feel like it's a good one, and I really didn't want to do another tell me about your project solely 10-15 minutes and it's over. I really wanted to dive into who you guys are, what you do, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, because I feel this is something that's missing. And at least for prosperity's sake and history's sake, when we come to the beginnings of Cardano, and I'm hoping Cardano goes where we want it to go, this could be an archive of some sort of this. Those are the people, those are the faces of the quote unquote OGs that came in and did this. So now that I've done a few, I think where I'll go with this, and I'm looking for another stamp of approval, is maybe I should start inviting other people that were not part of the collab and take it into more of a, like, this is the cute creatures aspect of it, but then keep it going with more things and more people and more collabs, and just sit with a cup of tea and in that cool mug you have, and then go from there.
No, definitely. I think that sounds like a great idea. And this is the other thing that's so nice about the Cardano space, is that people are actually interested in what other people have to say. But again, it's like in a positive way, as opposed to being like, oh, you've said this, like, how some other communities could be about, like, trying to pick on people, whereas this seems to be very genuine, very authentic, and it is like, I want to hear your ideas, that sounds great. Like, yeah, it's definitely worth pursuing.
And I want to help where I can. I think this is the biggest. I feel this is one aspect that some other communities lack, is that we are very much like, I want to help if I can, and I don't see that very much. And I was brought into ADA from ETH, and the person that brought me in had that aspect to them. Should we wait for Nathan to come back in, or is he on daddy duty? Should we?
I think he's gone, but I think we're going to have to go soon as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
because we've got to be
So-
somewhere soon.
Last question.
Mhm.
Did
Oh,
you
he
enjoy
can't, he
this
can't connect.
chat?
He can't get back in. That's yeah.
Should I send it? Okay. Let me send him the invite link one more time and see if he wants to come in and say goodbye, and then we can end it. One moment. Copy link. Tell him I sent it to him again. He's the one with Retro NFTs Twitter, right?
Yeah, he handles the Retro NFTs Twitter. So on Discord, I've got the Retro NFTs
Yes.
account, and he's Strudders,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
April's April. But yeah, the Retro NFTs Twitter account is Nathan handles most of that, and then
Yeah, he handles the
obviously April
majority
does
of.
a lot of the tweets and stuff like that.
Yeah, he
But
does
yeah,
the
it's
direct
just-
messages. Yeah.
Yeah, just let him know
Yeah.
that I texted him the link
I did. I
again.
just messaged him now, so
Okay.
he might
So-
come back in.
Yeah. So until we see if he jumps back in or not, two questions, very quick ones. Number one, how do you feel about this whole chat? Did you enjoy it? Was it something different? Did you expect it? Did you not expect it? Tell me what you feel.
I really enjoyed it. I like the fact that it was casual. You know, it didn't feel too pressurized, so that was really nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I actually didn't think it would go on this long. Like
No.
he was like at the start, he was like, "Oh, you know, if it goes on long, like doesn't matter." And I was like, "Oh, after about 15 minutes, we're gonna have nothing to say." But no, I really enjoy these. Like, you know, I've done a couple of these sort of chats and things, and caught up with people, and I really love these kind of interviews and things like that, because it's like just getting different people's opinions and talking about things. And Cardano, it's like sometimes we forget like how it's good to just stop and talk about everything that's happened and is happening and that's going on. It's yeah. It's always good. It's always good fun to catch up and have a chat to people in the space, you know, that's not around actually just doing something, you know, because we have so many meetings with people about, you know, talking about a specific project or doing something or helping or offering advice, but just to sit and chat and have a cup of tea and get to know people, it's always good.
Definitely.
Well, I think I'll go invest in like a pink suit or something for the next few.
Some crazy
Snap
hat.
it up a little bit, you know, fix up my beard.
Yes.
This is quarantine beard right here. So thank you both. I really enjoyed getting to know you all. Again, I'm very much the lurker, not someone. Oh, he's back. So let's see. Okay, you're back. So the question was, before we end this, you didn't miss much, but the question was, before we end this, is, did you enjoy the talk? Like, tell us more about how you felt about this whole talk and everything before we end it. Can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
No.
Okay, I don't think you can hear us either. Can you hear us?
I can't hear anything, guys. Sorry, I can't hear a word that you're saying.
We hear you.
Okay. I'm having technical issues. See you. Thanks for the chat. See ya.
Bye.
Bye,
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
We kind of answered our question anyway, right?
Yeah, that's it. Good job.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you again for your time. I really enjoyed this. If ever in Dubai, let me know. The Brits love Dubai, so if ever in Dubai, please come over and let us know.
Definitely.
And we'll have a nice sit down dinner instead.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Definitely. And same if you're in the UK, please let us know.
I shall. Yes, I have promised. Who did I promise I'll go visit them in the UK? I think it was JL. So I have promised JL that I will go say hello in the UK when things start easing up. So
brilliant.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, mine too.
Until the next one.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Yes. Yeah. Bye-bye.